Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, that tasted great. I've been putting a little cinnamon in my coffee to just kind of give it a little flavor. And my favorite flavor of cream is like hazelnut. So it's kind of a hazelnut cinnamon. And boy, it's just tasting amazing. Wow, guys, what a gorgeous, beautiful day. We are just so grateful. I am anyway. And look at all my trees are changing color there. It is just gorgeous out here. Well, guys, I've been reading a bunch of articles on this whole global conflict thing, and I have never look, I'm 55, and I know that's not ancient of days, but it's old enough to have been around a little and see a little for those of us that are, in this age, And I have never in my lifetime seen such ratcheted up rhetoric and practically a bloodlust for global conflict as what we're seeing right now. I mean, you're hearing so much stuff, and it's almost like they're just with casuality, like just basically such a casual attitude of talking about, a nuclear conflict. So recently we read that the U.S. is trying to get nuclear capable armaments over to Britain before the end of December. And now I just read that they're sending over 6 B-52s to Australia. And it just feels like, hey, look, you're just setting up all these various theaters to be ready for whatever might come down the pike or whatnot. But then why on earth would that be out there in the public media for all the world to see? I mean, that doesn't sound like great strategy if you ask me. I'm not going to go and say, oh, hey, by the way, guys, I'm just, I mean, it's just crazy. And so part of me is thinking, are they just trying to poke this bear? Are they just trying to, come and get me kind of stuff? It's like almost ridiculous. It's like they're literally begging for it. And this is what I'm thinking about, guys. Here, give me a sec. This is how I'm perceiving all this. We are in a massive financial catastrophe that has been brought about intentionally by these various central banks around the world, these governments. And let's be honest, in all of these basic economies around the world, it's the central banks that are really pulling the strings, It's kind of like the worldly golden rule, he who holds the gold makes the rules kind of deal. And that's what we're looking at here. Now, it would not surprise me. In times past, we have definitely seen one of the ways in which they get themselves out from underneath these kind of financial pickles has always been to get into some kind of major military conflict. And so it is not surprising to me that they are hungry, they are thirsty for some kind of a global conflict so that they can turn on that engine, they can turn on that machine of war and just try and get themselves out of this whole situation, through a restart, basically, kickstarting the whole economy again vis-a-vis the mechanisms of war. Because let's be honest, that is a major financial driver. And if anything, to drive us perhaps back into a Cold War type of situation where, we're just, ratcheting up and everybody's doing all they can to arm themselves to the teeth and get all this stuff going on. It wouldn't surprise me. And another thing that really gets under my skin is this. They ruined our economy, locked us all down during that big sea dump thing, destroyed a bunch of our financial ability. And now, that's not enough. They want our sons and daughters too. Because let's be honest, guys, do you think it's these big-time politicians and these quasi-royalty type people, these dictator types, and on and on? And do you think it's all these senators? And do you think their sons and daughters are going to be the ones on the battlefield? Few and far between. No, it's us, guys. It's our 18 to 25-year-olds, 26-year-old kids that get drafted into this kind of stuff. And their whole lives are put on pause and in some cases, in a lot of cases, are taken away and lost. Now, God bless them for those folks, those kids that are willing to go out there, volunteer, and put their lives on the line, even forfeit their lives for the love of their country. But I'll tell you what, I have a philosophy. If my country is asking me to die for them, if I'm willing to die for my country, then my country needs to give me something to live for. And for me, that's liberty. For me, that's the ability to have a life, have an economy. And these guys have strategically stripped it from us. And it's like they're trying to come in and literally take away any ability that you and I could possibly have to enjoy a decent life. It is insane. In the last financial meltdown there in 2008 and 9, what happened? All the big banks got massive bailouts for all the crappy, bad investments that they made. Only a few of them really were let loose to fail. The rest of them were all bailed out massively. But what did they do to the rank and file for us? Folks that lost their jobs because of all the incompetence that was going on. Well, they foreclosed on them, didn't they? There was no bailouts for those guys. And I'm talking bailouts where the money didn't have to be, you know, all paid back and all this and that. They inflated themselves out of it and on and on and on. No, they went after these guys. And if there was ever a situation where in real life where you saw the parable of the unmerciful servant, where they were forgiven such a big debt and then went out and grabbed somebody who owed them about 50 bucks and choked it out of them, we saw that happen in 2008 and 9. So do you think character has changed? Not one person, not one high-ranking person in that whole fiasco ever faced any accountability, jail time, or whatever. In fact, a lot of them were written fat checks and bonuses and everything else right out of the stimulus. It just boils the blood, if you know what I mean. But guys, this whole ratcheting it up of all this, you know, saber rattling for this global conflict, to me, it's like, have they literally lost it? I mean, to push us right to the envelope, you know, in a worldwide global conflict, it's absolutely insane. It makes no sense whatsoever. This could be dialed down so fast, but no, they don't want that. There's an agenda, and it's not about what they're telling us it is. That's at least how I feel. Well, anyway, guys, you know, I'm getting on my soapbox here, so I better get off before I actually hurt myself. Anyway, guys, we will have a great video out later on this afternoon. And until then, I hope you have a good one and take care.